papyrus looking for last-minute cards when a young man approached me, a lean man with a goatee wearing a sweater, cargo pants, and running shoes. He said, "Hey, I'm Jesus Christ." He pointed to his sweater with 3 dancing bears sewn into the fabric, along with the greeting, "Have a berry Christmas." He asked, "Do you like it?" I said I did. He knew I was lying. I stared at his close-cropped hair. He said, "You should have seen my stylist when I told him I wanted something new." Whatever, it'll grow back, huh? Am I right? As we walked together, people followed, stopping him for autographs, selfies, asking him to cure their ailments. He was polite and professional, clasping each person's hands, looking into their eyes, thanking them for their interest, or saying, "I'm really not into the miracle thing anymore." Although he did help one person change a flat tire. I also noticed that when he signed autographs, he used the old time-saving trick of first writing Jesus Christ as he asked each person, "What's your name?" I wondered if he ever got tired of that kind of attention, and he replied, "It's when they don't ask for miracles that I get worried." Huh? Am I right? We went to a mall, and Jesus immediately headed for Toys R Us. He seemed amused by any product which featured himself. The Playmobil Christmas manger with horse, cow, and tree. The What Would Jesus Wear magnetic dress-up doll playset. And he was especially taken by the Jesus of Nazareth bendable action figure. Holding it up and asking, "Does that look like me? Does that really look like me? I think he's better looking." He joined a bunch of kids who were running down the aisles with a toy drone, and later I found him in front of the multiplayer version of Stardew Valley, a video game in which you cultivate a farm, raise animals, and interact with members of the community. "I could play this for hours," Jesus said. And he did. Later, we waited in line for Santa, and when it was Jesus' turn, he hopped in old St. Nick's lap and yelled, "I want an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle." Santa said, "He'll shoot your eye out, kid." They both laughed and laughed. At the food court, Jesus remarked that a single classic roll from Cinnabon could have probably fed the multitudes at the Lake of Galilee. He got a call on his cell phone. He answered, looked at me, then rolled his eyes. "Hi, Dad." Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, I'm with him right now. Yeah. Okay, hang on. He handed me the phone and said, "He wants to talk to you." I looked at the phone. The screen simply read, "outside area." I said, "Hello," and heard a metronome. Jesus watched curiously as I nodded my head, pretending to listen to his father. I gave the phone back to Jesus. "Hi, yeah, okay, I gotta go, bye." He ended the call and asked me, "So?" I said his father seemed nice. "What did he say?" I replied, "It's sort of between us." He nodded his head, but he knew I was lying. On Hollywood Boulevard, Jesus took pictures with someone dressed as traditional Jesus, and then with someone dressed as Spider-Man. He couldn't identify Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies, asking me, "Is he from Marvel or DC?" Jesus' eyes lit up when he saw Jeffrey Hunter's star on the Walk of Fame. He said, "He's my favorite movie Jesus." I may be biased because, hey, he was Captain Pike on Star Trek. I also like Max von Sydow because he was in all the Bergman films, and that's really cool. And Willem Dafoe because, Willem Dafoe! We passed a sleeping homeless man. Jesus said, "I haven't seen him in years." He wanted to be an urban planner, had a lot of good ideas about handling water scarcity. Jesus tucked a $20 bill into his coat pocket, then we walked on. In my car, we listened to 100.3, formerly The Sound, a classic rock station replaced by K-Love, which now features Christian contemporary music. The song playing was Jesus, I Believe by a group called Big Daddy Weave. The lyrics, "I want to say what you're saying, speaking life to what is dead. And I want to cling to you, Jesus, hanging on your every breath. I need to hear you now. I need to know it's you." Jesus listened for a few moments, then said, I appreciate their effort, I really do, but, and he changed the channel. He sang with the new song, "The floods is threatening my very life today. Gimme shelter, or I'm going to fade away. War, children, it's just a shot away. It's just a shot away." Jesus sang loudly, really loudly, exclaiming, "Ted Neely's got nothing on me!" I didn't realize I had been driving so fast until a police officer pulled me over. He asked me for my license and registration when he saw Jesus, who said, "Officer, please forgive us. We're on our way to an exorcism." The startled cop said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was you. I'm a big fan. You need an escort." Jesus pointed upward and said, "Thanks, but I already have an escort." The officer crossed himself as I drove away. Jesus laughed, saying, "See, I'm good to have around, huh? Am I right?" We drove to the Renegade Craft Fair, where Jesus admitted, "I used to make gifts for people, but I just don't have the patience anymore." He purchased a natural-stained double triangle shelf and a bent lamination cheese board made of walnut, mahogany, and cherry. He discussed how the board was made with the vendor and listened, fascinated, as she described the JWDS 1836 drum sander she used, how she milled the individual strips of wood, clamped and glued the strips together, planed the board, and employed a card scraper to clean the edges. Jesus said, "Oh man, I miss that." Standing on the 4th Street overpass above the 110 Harbor Freeway, we spit at cars below. My loogies were diffused and scattered. The arcs of each loogie which left Jesus' mouth were trailed by rainbows. And as his saliva connected with its intended targets below, you could faintly hear a short section from Beethoven's Ode to Joy. He said, "When I was in China, my mucus was black from all the pollution there." He looked at the streaking traffic lights and seemed tired. I asked if he was all right. Jesus smiled weakly and added, "Hey, it's part of the job." We went back to Papyrus. It was getting late. He said, "So, do you want to hang out again?" I thought for a moment and replied, "No, not really." He said, "Didn't think so." No worries, had to try. He gave me a hug and said, "By the way, don't tell anyone I spit on cars. I've got a reputation to uphold, you know. Am I right?" He approached a woman and said, "Hey, I'm Jesus Christ. Like my sweater?" She said she did. I don't think she was lying.